Hello, welcome to this tutorial. Today we are going to make one of these little crochet coasters that are very simple to make and very accessible to beginners. They are entirely made of the basic treble stitch and of a technique called surface crochet. To make them, you will need a 4mm crochet hook like this one, a pair of embroidery scissors, and some double knitting cotton yarn or any kind of double knitting yarn. So without further ado, let's make a start. First of all, make a slip knot to put on your hook, like so. Then yarn over and start back chaining 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You now need to join the last chain on your hook to the first one you made, which is here. So insert your crochet hook into this chain here, like so. You can get rid of the little knot here by tucking it behind your hook. And now do a slip stitch, yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. First loop, second loop, and that's it. You've got a slip stitch that's joined your chain into a ring. You will now work into the center of that ring. The first round calls for 12 trebles into the ring. The first treble is made of 3 chains. 1, 2, and 3. That counts as your first treble. You are now ready to make 11 more trebles the standard way by yarning over. Insert your hook in the center of the ring, yarn over, pull 1 loop through the center, which leaves you with 3 loops on your hook, as you can see here. Yarn over. Now pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, like so. Yarn over again and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. There you have it. That's a treble crochet. You can now carry on and make another one. Yarn over, insert your hook into the center, yarn over, pull through the center, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. And again, yarn over, hook in the center, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. And carry on now, making trebles until you've reached a count of 12 for this round. So we are now at 6, 7th one now. 10, 11, 12. So you are now ready to join this first round with a slip stitch to the first chain you made, which is right here on top of your second treble, like so. Yarn over and pull your yarn through both loops on your hook, like so. And that completes your first round. So for round 2, you will have to increase your stitch count so your circle stays flat, which means you will do 2 trebles in each of the stitches. Start with chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and do a treble in the same stitch that you've just worked in here. Like so. Treble, and that's your first increase. You will now increase into the next treble, which is here. So 2 trebles in this next stitch. 1 and 2. There you go, that's your second increase. The next one will be worked into the next treble, which is here. That's 1 treble and second treble in the same stitch right here. And 2 trebles. So you can now carry on in the next stitch and into all the next stitches you will do 2 trebles. That's the second treble in this stitch, and carry on in all stitches of the previous round. 2 trebles in each stitch. And for the last increase, this is where you're going to work in. 1 treble and 2 trebles. You are now ready to join the end of this round to the beginning of this round. But first, let's make sure we have the correct number of stitches, which should be 24, because we had 12 in the first round, and we're increasing by 12 each round. So let's count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. And that's perfect. We can now join the round to the beginning with a slip stitch like so. You are now ready to start round 3. Chain 3 and treble in the same stitch, and that's your first increase. We will increase every other stitch in this round. So the next stitch does not have an increase, just 1 treble crochet. One. Increase in the next stitch, by making 2 treble crochets. 1 and in the same stitch 2. No increase in the next stitch, just 1 treble crochet. Increase in the next stitch with 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. So carry on now, increasing every other stitch until you've reached the end of the round. In the last stitch of the round, just 1 treble crochet, as this is not calling for an increase. 1, and you are ready to join the end of the round to the beginning. But first, let's make sure that we have the correct number of stitches, which should be 36. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36. Perfect. So we are ready now to join to the beginning of the round with a slip stitch. On top of your first chain 3, like so. And round 3 is complete. We're ready to start round 4. Chain 3. Treble in the same stitch to increase. In this round, only 1 increase every second stitch is needed, which means in the next 2 stitches we are only going to work 1 treble. So 1 treble in this stitch and 1 treble in the next stitch, which means the next stitch will require an increase in here. 2 trebles in this stitch. 1, 2. And no increase in the next 2 stitches. So just 1 treble in here. And another treble in the next stitch. Increase in this one. 1 treble and 2 trebles. And no increase over the next 2 stitches, so 1 treble in this one and 1 treble in the next one. So you can now carry on for the rest of the round, increasing every second stitch, like I did here, and then no increase for the other 2 stitches. Once you get to the last 3 stitches of the round, increase in the first one, 1, 2 trebles, and then 1 treble crochet in each of the last 2 stitches. That's the first one, and this one, which is a little bit hidden because of the third chain. And that's your round nearly complete, ready to join. But let's make sure first that we have the correct number of stitches, which should be 48, because the other one, the previous round, counted 36 stitches. So 36 plus 12 equals 48. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48. We do have the correct number of stitches. So we can now close this round. You could do it with a slip stitch if you wanted, but I'm going to show you a technique that is called the invisible join. So pull up a long loop and just cut in the middle, like so. Pull out your working yarn, grab hold of this loose bit of yarn here, thread it on a tapestry needle, like so, and insert your needle in this stitch here. Now pull your yarn through the stitch, not too tightly. You want it to be about the same length as the stitches next to it. And you're now going to insert your needle into the center of the previous stitch here. Like so. Pull through. Again, not too tightly because you want it to look like the top of a standard stitch. And now to secure the thread a bit further, just insert your needle into the back of your stitch here, and that should secure it nicely before you weave it in at the end of your work. Starting round 5 with a new colour, here in pink, start with a slip knot on your hook, and you're going to do a standing treble. So yarn over, hold on to that knot. You can start wherever you want. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, like so. You now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, and still holding on to that slip knot. Yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. And that's your standing crochet, treble crochet done. You now want to increase, so do another treble in the same stitch. There you go, that's your first increase. You're now going to do 1 treble into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And now it's time to increase. So do 2 treble crochets in the next stitch here. 1 and 2. Now increase now in the next 3 stitches. So 1 treble in the next stitch, another treble in the next stitch, and another one in the 3rd stitch. And now it's time to increase again. Do 2 trebles in the next stitch. So carry on now, increasing every 4th stitch, which means no increasing for 3 stitches, as demonstrated here, and 1 increase in the 4th stitch, like so. And carry on like this, 3 trebles, 1 increase, 3 trebles, 1 increase, until the end of the round. Once you get to the end of the round, you should have 60 trebles. Let's count them now. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 20, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60. So you're now ready to join your round. Not in this stitch here, which is the slip knot that you started your standing treble with. It's too loose to tie anything to it, so you will need to do your joining into the other top of the stitch. Here. So as I showed you for the previous row, pull up a long loop, like so. Cut off your working yarn and pull it away. Grab hold of the remaining loose yarn and thread it on a needle, a tapestry needle. Insert it into this stitch here, pull through, not too tightly, and then insert it back into the center of this stitch, like so. Pull through, not too tightly, so it looks like any other stitch, and then secure it by threading the yarn under that back loop of the treble crochet. Pull through, and that's it. You're now ready to weave in your ends if you wish. So now that we have completed our circle, we will do the accent round in surface crochet, as you can see here in white. It's a technique called surface crochet, which is no more than slip stitch done through the thickness of the work, if you will. So on this particular piece, we're going to work between the last round of grey and the pink round, getting the white yarn. So normally you would start by doing a slip knot and tying it to your hook, but we are doing things slightly differently here. Get your slip knot ready, insert your hook wherever you want through your work, and slide the slip knot onto your crochet hook. And you're now ready to start working your round of surface crochet. Hold on to that knot if it's sliding a little bit. And now pull through your work, bringing a loop to the front of your work. Insert your hook in the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop to the front of your work. You are now left with 2 loops on your hook, and you're going to do a slip stitch by sliding the first loop into the second loop, like so. And now do it again, and all stitches of the round. Do not pull too tightly when you do your stitches, otherwise you will squish up your work. Do it again. Pull up a loop to the front of your work and slide that very same loop under the second loop that is on your hook. Insert your hook in the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull that loop under the second loop on your hook. Insert your hook again in the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull that loop into the second loop on your hook. So let's carry on like this until the end of the round, at which point I'll show you how to stop your work. Now sometimes, even if you're careful not to pull your stitches too tightly, you can find that your work gets scrooched up, in which case I advise you to switch to a slightly bigger hook, and that should help space up your stitches. Once you get to the last but second stitch of your round, pull up a long loop and cut off that yarn. Pull your working yarn away and thread that bit of loose yarn onto your tapestry needle. And you are now going to insert your needle under the two strands of your first slip stitch in the round, like so. Pull your yarn, again not too tightly because you want it to be the same length as the other stitches, and then insert back into the center of the previous stitch. And you're now ready to weave in your ends. And that's it, your coaster is complete. You have a lovely little series which you can decline in many colours. Those ends need weaving in. I shall get to that. I hope you enjoy making them. Thank you for watching. Bye!